Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video, I will show you a Dutch minister who I think she is a traitor and not very bright. I think she's not good at all. Let me show you what she says, and I will provide you with a context, and I will give you some analogies regarding her imbecile statement. Remember, this is a Dutch minister. Mr. Wilders won the elections over there, far-right guy. So she is very concerned, but she's not concerned with the Dutch population because Wilders comes in and is going to create problems for the Dutch. No, she's concerned with Ukraine. How do you call that one? I will give you some analogies to this imbecile. The Kiev Independent, today the 24th of November 2023. Dutch minister, far-right electoral win, and I'm quoting, has me worried about support for Ukraine. So she's worried for the support for Ukraine. Let me give you an analogy. So she obviously thinks that Mr. Wilders' victory was going to be bad. It's bad. It's a bad situation. So it's like a house that's burning, and the first thing that you take from there is your dildo, and you run out with the dildo. You leave the kid in the house, you just take the dildo and get out. Or a sex toy. That's what this woman is. Or, let me give you another example. Let's say you are married, and your husband or your wife, who's the only one working, comes home and says, "Oh my God, man, I got fired. I lost my job." And the partner would say, "Oh my God, how are we going to help the neighbor's kids? They will not have food anymore. We can't help them. Hey, batch, how about our kids?" So her first thought is someone else's problem. Our support for someone else instead of here. Now you can argue, or someone can argue, Emil, actually, if the Ukrainians lose the war against the evil Russians, then the Russians will come and destroy the Dutch people. I mean, that could be a toddler, question based on a scenario created by these guys. But that's a scenario, and it stays as a scenario, unless that's true. And they try to create this little narrative that if NATO loses in Ukraine, which is about to, Russia will come and will stop in Lisbon, right, in Portugal. That's where it's going to stop. It's going to, the Russian army is going to wash their feet in the Atlantic Ocean. But that's a narrative. I don't stand by that, not even 1%. But she's still concerned. All right, she's concerned about others. So let's read further and see what is. Maybe we can put a name on the face. Right here. And she's the defense minister. She's concerned with that, not with her country's defense, with Ukraine's. Minister Kasia Ollongren speaks at the blah blah blah. Dutch defense minister expressed her concern on November 24 in comments to reporters about the future of Netherlands' support for Ukraine in light of the victory of Geert Wilders and his Party for Freedom. The PVV is now the largest party, and they have never been enthusiastic about support to Ukraine. They have even been pro-Russia at times, so that worries me, or has me worried. Okay, well, to be honest here, she was asked, it seems like, right, in light of the victory, she expressed her concerns in comments to the reporters about. So it seems like that's one of her big things, and reporters who really are interested about Ukraine. The supporters should be interested in how the Netherlands can defend itself in case of something else happens. I don't know, maybe the Germans going to invade them again. No? No. Or maybe the Poles have some territorial demands from Netherlands as well, because the Poles have balls, and if you let them do it, they will take over the entire Europe. Why? Because that maybe belonged to them in their imagination, but nevertheless, they're still over other nations' territories, but they're anyway. So here you have her, very concerned with that. Is she part of the, I don't want to call them globalists, the interests that actually work against Russia in Ukraine at this point and use NATO and the Ukrainian nation to kneel Russia? I think so. I think so. She's very concerned with that, very concerned with the delivery, because if Russia wins and the NATO loses and those interests lose, then she's out of the office anyway. Well, I think she's just worried for the neighbor's kids or for her dildo as the house catches fire, not for her children inside the house. Thank you very much for being with me again today, including those neighbors who ask you, or the media asks you about, what about Ukraine? That's the most important thing here? Ukraine? Yeah? Okay. For you, obviously. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.